The second key to time management is focus. And again, you have an advantage on this as an engineer because you probably know how to get into the zone and write code very effectively, right? Apply that to your new managerial tasks as well. Again, turn off your notifications when you're trying to get stuff done. You probably already know this, but if you're trying to get in the zone, having your phone buzz all the time is not going to do you any favors. Turn off your ringer, turn off your notifications, turn off your phone entirely. Put on headphones so that people don't bug you. That trick still works as a manager. As a manager, you should be more open to talking to people on your team, but when you're trying to get stuff done, when you need to get things accomplished, don't be afraid to put on the headphones because that's sort of the universal signal of, hey, I'm trying to get something done. Don't bug me right now unless it's an emergency. Really, it just comes down to getting into the zone still. And as an engineer, I'm sure you've done that before. Hard to describe to people who haven't done it, right? As an engineer, I'm sure people have come up to you and said, hey, how do you get into that state where you're just like hyper productive and focused on the code you're writing? Hard to describe, right? But as a successful engineer, you know how to do it. So don't lose that skill. Whether you're writing code or writing a report or writing an agenda for a meeting, you could still get into that state of mind and be hyper productive. The big idea here is that if you can make more efficient use of the time that you do have, managing that time becomes easier. You can get more tasks accomplished in the same amount of time. So getting into the zone puts you into this hyper-productive state where literally I think time is moving more slowly for you, at least internally in your head. And being in that state lets you get more stuff done. That means less stuff is piling up on your list. That means your time management is going to be better. So your own efficiency is a big part of that. If you must hide somewhere, again, as a manager, you shouldn't do that too often. But if you work at home, that helps, right? You can always just turn off the camera and, find a quiet spot at home and get stuff done. If you're not at home and working in the office, go book yourself a conference room or something, or go someplace private where you can actually get stuff done without interruption when the time comes to do so. Another trick is to defensively block off time. I've seen a lot of people do this. So a lot of people, they'll say, hey, from 9 to 11 o'clock every morning, I'm going to block that off on my calendar and nobody else can book me during that time. That's going to be the time where I get stuff done. And in my experience, that doesn't work for very long because as a manager, you're going to be expected to attend other meetings with other teams, with other managers, with people above you, and they're not going to share your block of time. So when they say you got to be there at 10 o'clock, they don't care that you block that off for your own personal productivity. So maybe at first that can work for you when you don't have a whole lot of meetings yet, but eventually you're going to need to use better techniques, such as booking yourself time for specific things you need to get done. Or maybe you're blocking off that productivity time during hours where people typically do not book meetings for whatever reason. Maybe there's different time zones involved in your company, so people tend to avoid certain times. Maybe that's an appropriate time to block off for getting stuff done. That could work. Again, I want to reiterate the importance of turning off your notifications. Avoid death by notifications. Notifications will distract you. They will steal your focus. And as a manager, you're going to be in a lot of meetings. And if your phone's jingling throughout all the meetings, they're going to hate you, right? So best to just turn them all off. Do them now. Kill your notifications, okay? Also, if you're tethered to Slack conversations or Discord, whatever it is, I promise you're not going to be productive. Staring at these constant chats all day long might be fun and feel good, but it's going to cut into your productivity. And like I said, as a new manager, there's going to be a lot of demands on your time, a lot of things you need to do. You do not need the added distractions of notifications. So just check in on them every few hours or so. That's going to be enough. Do not watch them constantly. Yes, there's information there you might need, but check every few hours. That's going to be enough. If anything is so important that it can't wait that long, trust me, someone will find you and tell you. So don't worry about it. Notifications are just evil. They're stressful. They're something you have to pay attention to and really cut into your attention. They could kill you. So many engineers that I knew that turned into managers actually ended up getting antidepressants or sleep aids or heart medication because the stress of all these demands on their attention just accrued over time and they couldn't handle it. Step 1, turn off notifications. Also, if you're being notified of stuff all the time, you can't pay attention to the conversations and the people that are talking to you in real life. And as a manager, you're going to have a lot more of these in-person conversations happening. You don't want notifications distracting your focus from those one-on-one conversations. Always better to talk to somebody in person, conveys a lot more information about what's going on, the emotions that are underneath it. So focus on those one-on-one in-person conversations or video, if you're doing things remotely still. But notifications from Slack, Discord, email, instant messages, turn them off. They're evil. They're going to work to your detriment. Okay? Big tip.